What is it?
With all due respect, there's nothing like Linda Warembo here. These are professionals and they are here in their capacity. If things went wrong, they have gone wrong. They need to be corrected. But the statement of Linda Warembo here, these are not ladies on
the only thing we are doing is Linda Ground, not Warembo. Ground.
That was introduced by the chair. It is the chair who introduced it.
The chair will
Don't lynch Sifuna for that. It's the chair who
in my
introduced it.
vernacular. Chair, in
Talk
my
to him.
vernacular.
Talk to him. You see the next week.
No.
He's the one who introduced it.
No, Wambua.
ladies.
Order,
In
members.
my vernacular, Warembos mean those ladies on the streets.
No.
Yeah,
My vernacular means nothing. Something different.
No.
I think we will
Warembos, these are
order.
professionals.
Vernacular.
You must respect them.
order, members. Order, members. Thankfully, I've been given the power now to switch off mics. So I'll switch off all the mics for the time being. Vice Chair, your last statement.
Yeah, Chair, because of this project, maybe as a committee we need to invite the AG to come and give advice, because there are so many projects through presidential edicts that are being taken over. So we need to know the framework of that working, so that if it is they are working at Article 187 or 189, we need to get to know, so that at least the money expended for the counties is safeguarded. We need to really maybe get some professional advice from the AG, so that money that is spent for the counties is not lost along the way.
Thank you, and I think you brought it to the right position. Even before we go to the AG, we've got a very competent legal team internally. I see Juma here. Some of our legal staff are now judges of the Court of Appeal. So we will first do our internal advisory, so that we can distinguish between this thing of service and function. Whether there is anything in law called transfer of service.
Add Senator Metu is now a first-year law student.
Order, Senator Charake. Okay, I think let's go back, because our way forward needs to be clear and uninterrupted. There is nothing wrong with the national government expressing intent to assist a county government in achieving flagship projects. It has been done in many other counties. So let it not be reported that this Senate is recommending that you reject the help extended by the presidency or the help extended by the DOD. That should not be the position. It has happened in other counties. I think the people of Nyandarua will not take us seriously if we sit here and say that perhaps there should be termination or there should be some stay of this project that is associated with a name that we hold dear, as Senator Sifuna has said. The only thing that you must ensure happens is that the process is lawful and the entire operation is prudent, because those are the two things that we look at as a committee. This project was initiated in 2021, initially at a contract price of 1.46 billion. Along the way, you varied it upwards by 8.7% to 1.597 billion. It should have been delivered by 2024. We are in 2026 and it is still not delivered. So far, you have paid 615 billion, but it is not complete. If you want the help of the DOD or the national government, we must go back to the meaning of Article 187 and the provisions of the Intergovernmental Relations Act to ensure that that transfer is lawful. If, in your view, this is a service, because if you say it is a service, it's as if it's a procurement. I don't think you procured the national government. I don't think you procured the DOD. You transferred a function. So we will have our internal interpretation. Let your advocates go back and rethink. And I think your county attorney should go on record. Her advisory must be on record, so that we are holding her to account on what has been put down. We would like this project to be completed, because it is of value, it makes sense, but let it be completed lawfully and prudently. Honorable members, we had many other projects in this report if we did not accept the governor's request at the beginning of this meeting, we would have gone on to look at the other projects and the other financial management issues in this report. But because we indicated that the governor had shown goodwill by coming rather than staying away completely, we agreed that by 12, we'll take a view on how far we have gone. Even though we have dealt with just 3 issues, one of the issues relates to 50 to 80% of your total expenditure. That is pending bills. And I think if you can resolve that and resolve one of these flagship projects, it can provide some hope to the people of Nyandarua. However, there are instances of breach of law. There are instances of loss of funds. There are instances of misprudent application of public resources in this report. They cannot go unchallenged. They cannot go untested. Therefore, honorable members, I believe that between now and 30th of March, there is sufficient time for us to reinvite the governor of Nyandarua so that we deal with those residual matters. I think that's the only way we can allow the governor to exit so that he can catch up with the other obligations. Governor, I hope you have not changed your mind about the coffee meeting. It looks like you need the coffee. Fine. So in terms of closing remarks, I will ask the governor to make closing remarks, if any, and then we'll donate our time to Senator Methu so that we don't make it too long.
Honorable Chair, I want to thank you, in particular the senators and everyone, for understanding our predicament. I also want to really thank you for your input, issues to do with Article 187. I know we have so many other projects, like what Senator Methu have talked about, the stadium, which whereby the national government is also supporting us. So we are going to sit with my attorney and the procurement team so that we can clean up all those records as per your advice. So I want to assure this House that going forward, even in future, maybe it's also a precedent, maybe even to other areas, just as you have said, that we'll be able to be going through that. The other thing that really worried the Senator so much was to do with the addition of 374 million. I know it's so dear to my Senator and also all the other senators. I want to assure you that after the implementation of the current budget, we'll be able to report authoritatively what we have done with that extra money. We decided to put it as affirmative action so that the Senate and everyone who participated can achieve. Issues to do with pending bill, Chair, I want also to assure this House that when I took over, we've been having this incremental OSRs. We started at 460, we came to 505, 515. Last year we were at 653. And I can assure you this time we are even going higher. That is one way to tell the Senate that we are going to reduce the pending bills. It will not be at the rate at which it appears there. As we are growing OSR, we will concentrate more with the clearing of the pending bills. So that I want to assure that. Otherwise, I want to add by saying thank you very much, and we advise as you have advised.
Yeah, so as Senator Methu closes, for avoidance of doubt, this transaction, we are not saying you stop it, we are saying you regularize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let it not be reported that Senate has asked the county government to stop the help coming from DOD. What we are saying is you need to regularize it.
Yes.
Senator Methu.
Thank you very much, Chair, and I want to thank my colleagues for spending quite some time to look at the books of account of Nyandarua County. And I want to hold the words of the governor under oath, and it gives me some comfort that he said about that in the coming supplementary budget, we shall be able to get a view of the affirmative action money of 374 million. I think that gives comfort to all of us. That gives comfort to me because I know and I think this money will go a very long way in ensuring that we try and catch up with the others. That's why the other counties were donating some money to us. And it will even give us impetus members of the counties, small counties, we call ourselves the caucus of the small counties, the 12 senators who have a reason to go and tell the other senators that we still need this money even when the formula comes for one more time. Maybe finally, and I know I will run the risk of, I don't know how to say this, but maybe, and it is my position, Governor, that the Senate would not have any reason to stop the national government from supporting counties. I think, in my mind, maybe the reason why you are very, very quick to ensure that you transfer this completion of this block, the JM Kariuki block and the Okrao Stadium, from a presidential proclamation, is because we have seen so much of the kind. And since none has commenced, maybe this one that looked like it can commence, you started it very quickly so that it does not get lost in the other minute proclamations that have been made by President William Ruto in Nyandarua. Many of them have never started. If there is one that can start, let it start, but regularize it so that it is completed within the law. This is not little money. 988 million would have been a very huge burden on the county of Nyandarua. Maybe finally, having gotten these kind of reliefs, because you had budgeted 100 million for JM Kariuki Hospital, I imagine that you'd have budgeted another 100 million in the next financial year. Why don't you get this money and then still ensure that this money goes to the Department of Health so that we don't divert this money and use it for other purposes, and then it defeats the reason why the government was helping us, because they helped us because we don't have enough. Ensure that this money that was meant for this JM Kariuki Hospital, even if it does not go to JM Kariuki Hospital, it goes to the Department of Health, so that you can be able to make our medical services better. You can be able to ensure at least people can feel that there is some burden that was on the county that has been taken by the national government, and they can actually see and get better services. Maybe finally, Chair, I'll be very excited to have the governor appear before us again to look at the issues on our own source revenue, because I would want to see how it has grown. I now know we have a new system, how it is working better than the system that we had, how it is growing, because, you know, Governor, even as we push money from the equitable share, you have to also push from your side. It can't be that when you joined the equitable share was 5.6 billion, it has now grown to 6.5 billion, but the own source revenue is growing within very marginal rates. It must commensurate. And you must also share among it yourselves, Chair. It can't be that one county is reporting that they have grown their own source revenue with 500 million, and another county is growing at 300 or 30 million. There must be something very wrong with these counties that are growing their own source revenue within marginal rates. I want to stop there. As you can actually see, Chair, I'm actually a very good man. I'm actually a very, very good man. I'm a very, well,
There was no doubt.
there was, there are some people who actually accuse me of being cantankerous. I only want a good country. Just the same way I'm speaking about Nyandarua is the same way I would want a good country. And those are the things that I say on top of the cars. It's only that sometimes I use a language that is not very friendly to Senator Charagay, but it's the same thing that I'm saying.
I am happy that today you didn't point at the governor. Wewe badilisha. Wewe badilisha. I think just to tie it up, the senator has said something. I think it's something you need to reflect on, Governor. We don't need to respond to it. You will deal with it when you come back. Now that the national government has taken the burden away from you on JM Kariuki and the stadium, what are you telling the people of Nyandarua that the money that you would have used on the stadium and on JM Kariuki, where else are you putting it? Is it going into mandazis? Or is it going into payment of pending bills? Or is it going into alternative flagship projects? If we had time, we would have interrogated that. But when you come back before us, please have that question in mind so that we can provide that assurance that the burden has been lifted, but the Senate still sends the money, and so you are putting the money in another sector to improve lives and livelihoods. I hope in our next meeting, which shall be by invitation, not by summons, because you seem to have fairly good manners. You come when invited. So at our next meeting, which should be by invitation, I hope you can address us on that.
Though if you allow, in a half a minute,
Well, I'll allow because you are the one who was pressed for time.
Yeah, particularly on this one, I want to agree with Senator Medu. You know, in Nyandarua, at this age, we only have 2 level 4 hospitals. That is JM and engineer. Actually, the reason why we are really pushing this one to be completed in good time, it will be our first level 5 hospital. What we have done, we have given money to 4 other hospitals, health centers, to uplift them to level 4s. That is Babu, Manunga, Ndaragwa, and Chamuka. So, in fact, it captures the inspiration of my senator that we want also now to upgrade other.
Governor, those ones you mentioned are in this report and they're reported as told.